Boston Red Sox earned this celebration here at Yankee Stadium.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're counting down our picks for the most unique moments in sporting history that we will likely never see again.
5,000 to 1, I don't think there's many other things that you're going to get better odds on.
Number 10. South Africa's 1995 Rugby World Cup win. Any sporting moment that brings a nation a little closer to peace and resolution deserves to be considered on a list like this.
The atmosphere at the 1995 Rugby World Cup final was nothing short of electric. It was an amazing place.
In the 1990s, South Africa was still adjusting to its post-apartheid era. Backed by the support of the national icon Nelson Mandela, their president, what seemed like a divided country found common ground in the sport of rugby.
Not in my wildest dreams did I think that Nelson Mandela would pitch up at the final wearing a springbok on his heart. And when he walked into our changing room to say good luck to us, and he turned around and my number was on his back, it was just an amazing feeling.
And in the 1995 World Cup final, they saw off Jonah Lomu and the All Blacks by a narrow margin, with Joel Stransky scoring a crucial extra-time drop goal to unite his nation in applause. It wasn't just a huge moment for South African sports. It was a huge moment for South African history, period.
There it is. Francois Pienaar. And Nelson Mandela is cheering along with the whole of the stadium.
Number 9. Nadia Comaneci's perfect 10. In 1976, the idea of an athlete receiving a perfect 10 score in gymnastics was so far-fetched that the official scoreboards weren't even calibrated to go higher than 9.99.
I knew that 10 was a big deal because I've done gymnastics for 8-9 years before, and I've done competitions, and I did the same routines before.
But when 14-year-old Nadia Comaneci managed to flawlessly execute a number of highly technical maneuvers and the board displayed a 1.00, the crowd were understandably confused.
I didn't come here to Montreal to make history. I didn't even know what that meant. To make history. Nobody told me that a perfect 10 was never scored in Olympic history.
But when the realization set in, it became clear that we had just witnessed history. It was one of 7 perfect scores she would turn in during the 1976 Olympic Games, setting a brand new standard for gymnastics performance levels in the process.
Older I get, I realize that what I've done was such a big thing, which I didn't realize then.
Number 8. Usain Bolt stuns athletics. Heading into the 2008 Olympics, there was considerable hype surrounding the fast-rising runner, Usain Bolt. He was clearly a different level of athlete, and the general expectation was that he would truly come into his own on the world stage. But we didn't realize exactly how successful this man would be. Beijing played host to a truly remarkable display from Bolt as he broke 3 separate world records, taking home gold in the 100-meter, 200-meter, and as part of the Jamaican relay team. This run of sheer dominance would carry through the next 2 Olympic Games in 2012 and 2016. But 2008 showcased the performances that truly blew the door off its hinges. Number 7. The Hand of God. Only a player as great as Diego Maradona would score 2 of the most famous goals in the history of football in one match.
The match against England proved to be one of the most memorable contests of any FIFA World Cup.
His first goal in the 1986 World Cup quarterfinals, known as the Hand of God, involved Maradona going up for an aerial battle with the English keeper, Peter Shilton, and clearly using his hand to swat the ball into the open goal.
He gave Argentina the lead in the 51st minute by scoring with what he famously called the Hand of God.
Diego later admitted that he had in fact touched the ball with his hand, but the goal stood. Somehow, he then scored a second goal, which was called the goal of the century, a run that saw him cover half the field and beat half the English squad before slotting the ball home.
Argentina's talisman had covered an incredible 68 meters, weaving his way through the England defense and into FIFA World Cup history.
Number 6. Jesse Owens debunks the Aryan superiority myth. In 1936, the world was on the verge of a major collapse in an all-out war, and the year's Olympic Games in Berlin served up quite a lot of tension.
Part of the idea around Aryan superiority really is rooted in this idea of genetics, that you can engineer the master race. And so a lot of emphasis was to reproduce the best specimens, and the idea that the best breeding stock was Aryan breeding stock.
Adolf Hitler's belief that the Aryan race was superior was about to be ripped apart by U.S. track and field athlete Jesse Owens. With the German dictator watching on, Owens stormed his way to 4 different gold medals, taking the top spot in the 100-meter race, the 200-meter, the relay, and the long jump.
I had jumped farther than any man on earth.
Hitler was annoyed by Owens' performance, as he had planned to use the Games as an opportunity to showcase just how much better German athletes were than their rivals. Unfortunately for him, he didn't count on Jesse Owens single-handedly ruining things.
I think that's the greatest moment of my whole athletic career.
Number 5. Abebe Bikila wins 1960 Olympic Marathon. Winning a gold medal under any circumstances is one of the hardest things an athlete can do. But for the Ethiopian marathon runner Abebe Bikila, he well and truly flipped the script. Taking up running at the age of 19 is by no means a good foundation for elite success, and yet, in the 1960 Olympics, at the age of 28, he stunned the world by taking home a gold medal, becoming the first Black African athlete to do so. And to make matters even crazier, he did it all in his bare feet. There were no fancy sneaker endorsements here. No, Bikila ran like a man possessed, and somehow he replicated his feat in 1964 as well. A truly bizarre but brilliant performance. Number 4. Red Sox overcome 3-0 deficit. The Red Sox had been fighting off a long-standing drought that left them without a single World Series win in 86 years.
The curse of the Bambinos started. The Red Sox sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees for $100,000. Ruth, of course, won 4 World Series with the Yanks, hit 659 home runs with them. It took the Red Sox 86 years to win their next World Series.
But in 2004, momentum seemed to favor them. And with their rivals, the New York Yankees, standing between them and progressing to the World Series, they somehow overcame a 3-0 series deficit to turn the tables against the Yankees and seal the win in Game 7.
The Boston Red Sox have won the pennant.
The fact that they went on to win the World Series was impressive as is, but in overturning what seemed like a certain defeat, they became the first team to ever claw their way back from such a gulf. 2004 was a year that any MLB team would have had a hard time besting.
They'll spread the news, all right.
Number 3. The Miracle on Ice. The Soviet hockey team was a truly dominant force in the 1970s. Coming into the 1980 Winter Olympics,
the hockey team was better than everybody else. They won their games with ease. There was nothing to celebrate for them. They were supposed to win.
In an era where professional players were not able to represent their countries, the Soviets still had a truly stellar team assembled. As for the Americans, not so much. Their roster was made up of youthful amateurs, and the notion of them finding victory against their rivals was considered laughable.
They were treating some of us not with the respect, and I think in the world of sport, you have to respect all your opponents. So I just kept telling them, someone's going to beat him, someone's going to beat him, someone's going to beat him.
And yet, they managed to edge them out 4-3 by the time the game had ended, leading to a hugely unifying cultural moment within the United States.
We restored the pride and patriotism that makes this country so great, not even knowing it.
It was a win that never should have happened, eventually earning the title, The Miracle on Ice. And it's easy to see why. Number 2. Muhammad Ali defeats George Foreman. Muhammad Ali already told the world he was the greatest, and yet they still counted him out at the age of 32 when he attempted to win his old title back from the younger and more powerful George Foreman.
25-year-old George Foreman was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Undefeated in 40 straight fights, Foreman had destroyed Joe Frazier inside 2 rounds to win the title, and had demolished Ken Norton in equally devastating fashion.
Big George had KO'd Ken Norton. He had mauled Joe Frazier. And as Ali walked out to meet him in a packed Zaire area, it was almost as if the commentary team were writing his obituary.
One thing that's very important as we take a look across the ring at Muhammad Ali bouncing around is Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, a physician, a man that certainly has the ability to help the aging former champion Muhammad Ali should he get in trouble.
But Ali had a plan, and with the famed rope-a-dope approach, he let the big man punch himself out for 7 rounds before nailing him in the 8th. It was the more unlikely and utterly enthralling career comeback, and from there, it became near impossible to doubt him ever again.
I had lost my title. Never been so devastated in my life to lose the title and to the most braggadocio in the world, Muhammad Ali. Took me a long time, maybe a year, before I could sleep again.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Leicester City wins the Premier League. Anything with 5,000 to 1 odds of happening is supposed to be a novelty bet.
We were basically dead and buried.
It's like saying Tom Cruise will win the 2028 U.S. presidential election. But for Leicester City, predictions that they might not even be in the Premier League the following season made their 2015-16 title run even more unbelievable.
Leicester dare to dream that the Great Escape is on.
And that momentum just carried in because we found a way to win now.
At first, it just seemed like these underdogs were simply finding some healthy early season form. But when the new year came and went and people were forced to take them seriously, football fans across the world could not believe what they were witnessing when they eventually sealed the league title. It was instantly declared to be the most shocking and unlikely achievement in English football history by a long margin.
Leicester City are the champions of England.
But did we miss any other truly shocking sports moments? Be sure to let us know your favorites in the comments.
Wow!